Hello there, it's Alicia Dimensions here with a tutorial video. People have been asking me to make one after my telepathy meme blew up since people were like, how do you use KineMaster only? So here it is. For starters, I'll tell you the apps I needed or I used. You need to have KineMaster since it's the main app you'll be using to edit the video. You'll need a drawing app, so choose whichever app you're comfortable with. I personally use Ibis Paint X since I've been using it for quite a while now. There will also be a bunch of parts in the video and timestamps that will be in the description. Some categories will have subcategories which will be given timestamps as well. This will help you save time for those who already know how to do it. So let's start. First, you'll need a body map and a head map of your chosen character. Each part with its own respective transparent background. Depending on your motivation, you could separate the certain body parts. For example, if you want to do some different movements with the rear hair and front hair, you can put them in separate pictures. It helps give more movement to the characters if you properly tween it well. Since some people don't know how to do these steps, I'll be explaining it soon. Those who already know how to do these things may skip ahead to the timestamp on the screen. To those who stayed, let's simply get started. Since people use different gacha apps when tweening, go to the timestamp stated on the screen to go to your own respective app. I'll be waiting for 3 seconds. Hello Gacha Life users! As stated a while ago, you need to get the body sheets. Go to your chosen character and simply click the hashtag on the top left corner of the screen. Body sheet 1 is your character in general, while body sheet 2 is your accessories such as wings, tails, capes, or props. If your character has nothing stated in body sheet 2, you don't need a screenshot of it. In the top left corner of the body sheet, you'll see a change button. Click this button if you want to separate your eyes or hair from the head. Do not use these kinds of backgrounds or a black background when taking screenshots. The reason for this will be explained later. After taking the screenshots of your body sheets, you can now move on to your drawing app. Then please skip to this timestamp for the next part. Hello Gacha Club users! This is how to get the body maps. Simply go to your character and go to the other category. Go to the hide subcategory, then at the bottom right corner you'll see 3 different maps. Body map 1, body map 2, and the head map. The body map 1 will have your OC in general, while body map 2 will have wing, tails, capes, or props. While the head map, will have the head if you would like to separate your head and eyes because you want to separately tween your eyes, you may do so. Do not use these kinds of backgrounds or a background that has the same color as your character outline. The reason for this will be explained later in the video. Once you're done taking your screenshots, you may now move on to your drawing app. Now we're at your drawing app. I'll remind you that I'm using Ibis Paint X to do the preparations for my video. It would be best if your drawing app can make a transparent PNG. I have an alternative if you cannot make a transparent PNG. What you're gonna have to do is import the screenshots you took. Remove the background. In Ibis Paint X, the easiest way to remove the background is by clicking the layers and then go to the selection layer at the very top. I would use the bucket tool, tap on the background, and then simply erase it by tapping on the transparent button at the right side of the layer bar. As I mentioned a while ago, the reason why it's not the best idea to have a background filled with things or a background with the same outline color will be hard to remove. After removing the background, you would like to use the selection layer again and select a single body part and then duplicate it, remove it from the original layer. Do the same for every single other part. After you have separated everything, you may do some simple edits to your tweening. I would usually add a skirt and shirt together so it would be easier to tween. Also, never add the back hair and the head together. Just never do it or else it will look weird. You may add shading to your hair or any other kind of extra edit in your video. For me, I'll only do a simple overlay shading. I would often shape the character to make its first pose, so it would be easier to export it on KineMaster, and then done. That's my finished body sheets. Now you have to save every single photo with its own separate image, preferably a transparent PNG. If you can't make one, well, you can just use a background color that is not close to any of the colors on your OC. If your OC is like rainbow or something, suffer, I guess. If your character has an accessory that is quite transparent, or if you want to separate the eyes from the head, I suggest skipping to this timestamp stated on the video. It's only optional though, but you can only do this part if you can make a transparent PNG. To those who can't do any transparent photos, or you're just too lazy to do extra effort, you may move on to this timestamp to skip ahead. For those who have transparent accessories, go to your drawing app, then proceed to copy the colors and basically trace the outline. Then you'll make another layer and change the opacity. Turn it into a transparent PNG so that when you tween it, it doesn't have a sad, boring color. You may or may not add additional things when you edit the accessories, add some shading or whatever else you want to add. Then you can move on to this timestamp unless you would like to separate your eyes as well. If you would like to learn how I shade eyes, you don't have to skip. How I shade my eyes was actually from another tutorial, but it had no text or anything. It was just a 16-minute video with background music. Actually, the person who made this was an online friend, but I wasn't extremely close to her, so I didn't say anything. I'll just make a shorter version of her tutorial, but if you wanna watch her whole video, I'll put her link and channel in the description below. First, get your eyes, and I hope your eyes outline isn't the same background, or else have fun suffering. Anyways, make another layer and make the original layer a bit transparent, enough for you to see clearly but not too clearly since you're gonna layer it with the same color. Trace the eyelashes. You can edit the eyelashes to your own liking as well if wanted. Then do the outline of the eyes and pupils on another layer preferably. Color the eyes and the eye white on another layer for it to be easier as well. After doing so, make another layer, use the airbrush, and use a dark color. I'll be using dark blue since it looks cool. Brush it at the top of the eye and that makes it shaded. I would usually duplicate the airbrush layer and clip it onto the pupil and eye white. Then I would make eye highlights, or also known as sparkles. Just add white spots everywhere and you may just copy the gacha eyes. Save the photos with the transparent PNG. If you would like the pupils to move and not just look fancy, then I suggest saving the photos separately like how you do the body map. If not, then you can just save it normally. Now we can move on to the next part. And now it's time for the tweening in the lovely free app with a circle watermark called KineMaster. Make a new project and then insert everything in. I often use the chroma key tool, which is also known as green screen when editing my videos, to avoid having a bunch of layers and to avoid lag. But you can do all the editing in one project if your gadget can handle it. For those who can't do transparent PNGs, you need to use the chroma key function when exporting every single photo. This will help them look like one piece instead of a sad, blocky character. Resizing the parts in KineMaster is hard since it may become unproportional, so I would often keep it the same way and simply export the video and resize it as a whole. If you'll do the same method as me, I suggest not adding the back hair or transparent accessories first. I would use KeyFrame Animation to move the parts. If you don't know how KeyFrame Animation works, I learned it from VR's tutorial video called How to Use Green Screen on KineMaster. Oh wait, I'm kind of curious. Let me watch this. Oh no, it's basically the same as mine. Well, I'll still continue, I guess. She mainly uses the poses from Gacha Club, but for this one, we'll be using a custom pose. I'll be giving a full explanation for KeyFrame Animation at this timestamp, but this part is already the closing remarks for the video, So you have to wait for a bit, or you can just watch Viara's tutorial video. I'll include the how to use green screen on KineMaster, but it doesn't give a detailed explanation on how KeyFrame Animation works, I think. I'll put the links in the description below, and same for your channel. Once you have your finished tweened animation, you can add the background and other effects. For my video, I'll be exporting it and then move it to another project. If you're using the same method as me, this is when you'll add the transparent accessories and back hair. Usually the hair is at the very back, so you would have to fix the layer so that the hair will be at the back. Then you can use KeyFrame Animation on it. For those who decided to separate the eyes and the head, you can use the snap inward and snap outward transitions on KineMaster. It gives an effect as if you're closing and opening the eyes. You can also make the pupils move if you want. And unfortunately, I don't know how to fully tween the mouth, so I just simply use a bunch of screenshots to do it using my handy green screen man. The closing part of this video is in this timestamp, so you can skip ahead there for clarifications and stuff. For the explanation of KeyFrame Animation, when you import a layer in, you see a small key in a circle at the left column. Be careful on how long you make the layer. If the layer is too long and you put the frames in already, you can simply fix it by cutting it. But if it's too short, I'm afraid you would have to restart. You can only do keyframe animation and layers, so the main media will have to be the background or your green screen. Once you add a point in the keyframe animation, you cannot move the layer again unless you go to the animation tool. The circle with a plus sign means adding a frame. When moving the layer while in the animation tool, it automatically adds a frame by itself. If you want to remove the frame, you may use the circle with a minus. The arrows will help you go to different frames, so if you would need to edit or remove a frame, you won't have to suffer positioning it and hoping you do not make another frame by accident. When adding a frame, it immediately starts moving from the start of the layer. But if you wish to make it stay put first and then move later, you can simply add a frame first and then make it move to your wanted frame later. This right here is an example of how I tweened at KineMaster in my latest video called Say So meme. I made a simple head bopping in the video, and you can see 3 points grouped together. One frame to avoid it from moving once the layer starts, one for the head bop, and lastly one to go back to its original position. Then I basically just repeated everything else. And in my telepathia meme, you can see how much I tween, and oh god! Now, this might happen often when tweening. The reason for this is because they just want to dislocate themselves. So you need to fix that and stick it back. And in order to do that, you need to add another frame to fix it. Thank you for watching the tutorial video. Can you imagine that the script is like 6 pages long? My throat. Anyways, if you want me to make more tutorial videos or something, I will gladly help as much as possible. And I really hope this tutorial video helped you as well. Leave a comment or you can subscribe for some more content. I also make some original voice acted skits as well, so don't miss out. I am planning to do the pow 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 meme or trend that I've been seeing recently, and I'm gonna tween some parts inspired by Asani Meow, if I'm correct. So don't miss out on that. And that's basically the end of the video. Thank you. I wonder how long the video will be.